Melvin Goh's daughter, Christine, was diagnosed with developmental delay when she was 3 years old. Now 27, she's able to hold a job of her own as a teacher's aide at a preschool.
We hope that she can be more independent and self-reliant. So we worry about, can she make decisions for herself when she's sick? We worry about financial matters, she can manage money. We worry whether she'll be exploited, bullied. I think these are the typical worries.
Melvin has started a care plan for Christine to ensure her financial security. The central element of that is a special needs trust to safeguard and ensure money for her future care needs.
How much money you will need? What is your earning capacity? Work through the areas. If she gets a job, what will be her income generating, right? And her health conditions. Do you want to create a trust for her so that you hedge your assets? Because once you create a trust, that means you are quite shielded, so this money can really be blocked for her.
Close to 1,000 trust accounts have been set up with Singapore's Special Needs Trust Company since it was launched in 2009. With government support, its aim is to make trust services affordable to all who need them.
You only need $5,000 to set up an SNTC Trust account. For those who do not have the initial capital, we have sponsorship schemes to help eligible families with the initial capital. Our fees are highly subsidized by the government. We partner with the public trustee to hold and invest the trust fund so that the principal value of the trust fund is guaranteed by the government.
There is this perception that trust is only for the high net worth. Well, I think that's a myth. That's not really true. So SNTC reduced the bar to getting a trust. Whereas if you go to a private company to get a trust done, you may need to pay $6,000 Sing, $10,000 Sing in order to set this up. To set this up with SNTC after the subsidy is $150 to set this up.
Family members can meet with social work to train case managers who will draw up a care plan for loved ones with special needs.
This care plan is not generic because every person has his own needs and every caregiver has his preferred care arrangement for his loved one. This care plan takes into account his current and future needs and project how much will be needed to support him. Once you know the projected cost of his future care, then the parents can start to build up their savings for the trust fund. These savings could include monies from the parent's CPF account and payout from any insurance policy, proceeds from your properties. Our case manager will work with the parents to identify and earmark what assets can come into the trust.
The trust can also be funded through inheritances and gifts from other relatives. But it doesn't just include financial considerations. Other things to think about include setting up a healthcare plan, as well as appointing a deputy to take care of the beneficiary's affairs after the parent's demise.
So with this care plan, what the parent will define for the child would be things like what sort of weekly therapy does this person need, any sort of medicines he may need, what sort of school he goes to, what sort of clothing he prefers to wear, what kind of food allergies he may have. So these are all the conditions, and in the end, it comes down to a number. I would ask the parent, how much does it cost for you to look after your child every month? And the parent may come back and say $5,000. And from that $5,000, we do a very simple extrapolation of what future needs might be. So $5,000 over 1 year is $60,000. And then we also have to ask this very rather difficult question. Well, what do you think is the life expectancy of your child? If the child is 20 and the life expectancy is 70, then we anticipate 50 years of spending that's required. We multiply that by 60,000 a year, and that gives us a rough number of $3 million that's needed for the child if the caregiver passes away. And this is what we can actually discuss with SNTC, along with financial advisors who can help arrange the financing.
The care plan is then periodically reviewed to accommodate changing needs. Experts say a trust is the best solution, as it allows money to be safely kept and dispersed regularly. It also protects vulnerable people from financial predators.
The whole idea behind a trust is that the person with special needs cannot receive a lump sum. They cannot handle a lump sum. So a trust is needed to hold the lump sum, and with instructions given by the caregiver today during his lifetime, say, well, in the event one day when I'm not around, the sum of money should be staggered, should be given to my child with special needs over a period of time based on certain conditions.
Loved ones of those with special needs are also urged to remember to keep money aside for their own retirement expenses, as well as for other children in the family.
But we always remind parents that don't forget that you also need money for your own retirement needs, so you can always plan for the money to come in after your demise. So just top up anytime you can, but otherwise it's okay. Important is to set up the trust so you have a legal infrastructure to receive future gifts, not only from yourself, it could be from your relatives who may want to give to the trust.
Unlike private trusts, which can invest in higher risk products to make profit, the Special Needs Trust invests in low risk, income earning products, and the principal sum is guaranteed by the government.
So when should you start planning? My advice is don't delay, because anything can happen to you. And you need time to build up your savings and assets to fund the trust for his long-term care.